I am Dr. Vincent Anthony Kumar, Professor Head, Department of Information Technology. Greetings to all the students of the PSNA College of Engineering Technology. Today we are going to discuss about the data mining concepts and techniques and advanced classification methods. Being engineering graduates, you might have studied the DBMS, Database Management Systems, in the second year, third semester. There you know what is meant by data, how to arrange the data, and how to create a table and a query and a normalization process. In the information era, the data plays a major role. How to collect the data, that means how to get the informations, then how to store the data, how to process the data, how we can give the security. So in this information era, these are the biggest challenges. So being the data may be in the facts, numbers, the data may be the numbers, images or text that can be processed by the computer. So in 2014, we are living in an information era, and we have many data, the Facebook or the mobile applications, mobile wireless communications and mobile databases, lot of huge database we are maintaining it. So from the data, whether it could be retrieved properly, that is the process. So the huge amounts of data widely available, the usage of barcodes commercial products. In all commercial products internationally, we have barcode systems. So this will be properly monitored by the all over the world. And we have for the commercial product, we have a lot of bundles of the terabytes of the data were available. And store the membership and customer rewards program. So this indicates we will be getting the data from the membership card or in the email ID or in the ATM. ATM we have all over the world. We can interact, we can have a huge number of data available. Then computerization of the office network in a banking sector, we have entire office automation is available. Therefore we have a huge database how to collect the data and processing it. And advanced data collection tools that also in the related to the social networks. We have a lot of the data were available, and using the World Wide Web, we are having a huge database we are collecting it. So we are drowning the data but striving for the knowledge. So we have a huge number of databases, but whether the databases is utilized properly or getting the information from the database is properly. So the evolution of the database, as we discussed, during 1960 we had only the database creation and we have a network of the DBMS concept. And 70 we have a relation data model and we talk about only the SQL query language. The students might have studied. And the 80s we talk about the advanced data model, the extension relational database, we enter into the distributed systems. Then application oriented DBMS, which comes under the spatial and the scientific and engineering process. So we have many number of engineering applications in the computer evaluation has taken place. So the huge database in terms of the images, in terms of the text, and many application is computation procedure will be taken in terms in the engineering aspects. During 1990, we have a data mining, warehousing and multimedia databases. So the multimedia databases may be about the photograph, the images, web databases, the Amazon, online shopping, the eBay, and everybody they are having the huge databases. In 2000, we are talking about, we had a stream database, data management and mining. So the data mining and its applications. In 2014, now we are working with all over the world. We are working with the social network, the huge data process we are working out. So what is mean by data mining? We know data. We have suppose the Anna University publishing the results. we could able to calculate what will be the averages, what will be the subject average, what will be the student average, what will be the college average, how many percentage. This will be calculated only the statistical methods. In the statistical method, we can able to calculate only mean, median, mode, or the setting of hypothesis. We can able to derive using the formula. We can get some values, and we can conclude that this average will be taken place. But it is not a data mining. Statistical inference, we have the formula, we compute, and we will give the results. But data mining is, we are taking extraction of interesting patterns. That means we retrieve from the database, we retrieve the knowledge, we extraction of interesting, that means non-trivial, which may not be available directly. We cannot take the data by using a formula, or it is a implicit in the database, which is implicit, and previously unknown formula. There is no formula available in our database. We have to write the rule, association rule, and we create the formula, we extract the particular value. So the data mining is a extraction of interesting patterns or knowledge from huge database. That means we are going to mine the unwanted, really wanted data from the extracting from the huge database. So, and potentially, that means unknown, potentially useful. So what is maybe patterns? We say for patterns or knowledge from huge amount of data, interesting patterns. So interesting patterns means, suppose in a banking sector, a particular customer, he will regularly used to come, every day he used to come, and some 10 set of customers. The other 10 set of customers, they used to come only weekly. The other 10 set of customers, they may come monthly. The other 10 set of customers, they come for only the 6-month process. So we have to identify the pattern. So what are the important customers, who and all the paying more to the bank, or the transaction could be taken place in what their business level. So we have to see the pattern. Suppose a customer coming regularly and having their much transaction, we have to identify that particular pattern, and we have to concentrate more, we have to feed them, we have to give the customer satisfaction to the particular customers. So this type of the pattern could be identified. We can say about the loan repayment in banking sector, loan repayment, whether these customers are repaying the loan regularly. If not, we'll take it into the other pattern. So in this type of the retrieving the knowledge from the database, that is the data mining. So it is not everything data mining. It is not only the query processing. We are not applying only the query, but the query could be formed by the data analyst, and we can retrieve the data. And this expert system are small machine learning. So we are using to retrieve the knowledge for the data, we use expert system or machine learning. What is machine learning? We introduce the artificial intelligence to give some information to the machines to extract the data from the real-time situation problems. And as well as the statistical program. In statistical program, we have a number of packages were available. We can able to compute with using the formulas. We can compute with setting of hypothesis. We can get some real answer, real situation answer by using the trend analysis or time series packages. We can able to compute. Right. So why data mining, and where the potential applications were available? So the data analysis and the decision support. So I am having a huge database, but with the database, what we can make it out? We have to analyze the data, and we have to give the conclusion for decision making. Suppose a businessman doing a business for 15 years, but he do not have any data, but therefore he cannot go without the past experience, he cannot do anything. Therefore, for the decision support, we require a database. From the database, market analysis could be done. So what will be the last 10 years, what will be our expectations, and what will be the next year forecasting could be done. And similarly, risk analysis management also. So the last year, what was the suppose in during festival, what was the total income for the sweet shop, in the sweet shop, or last year. So previous year. So we can have some last 10 years, what will be the sales of the sweet shop. According to that, this year also. Similarly, we can go for a cracker shop also. We can have a stock and analysis could be done. So forecasting. So according to that, we can have some forecast. You can forecasting the next year this much of the amount of sweets or packages or the capital should be required for this. Then customer retention. How many the customers, whether they are having the same customers we are coming to the shop or the customers they are going out, that could be calculated. The improved underwriting. Then fraud detections and detections of unusual pattern. So in a business, if you have a database, if you have some knowledge about the data, we can identify the unwanted pattern, unusual patterns are available occur, immediately we can identify and we can remove the patterns. So other applications we see about the text mining. So now we are working about the web mining. Web mining, the news group could be taken case. We in social network, we have a group and the email, document and all the web mining, and everywhere they are using the data mining concept and they are working with the data mining applications. And medical images, they are using the data mining. So extracting the image of the cancers, we have some 10,000 databases of the cancer patient and all the parameters kept in this, and we can extract particularly whether this could be what level of the cancer the patient is having and what level treatment could be diagnosis we can use in the medical databases. So right. So we have talked about the applications. Now we talk about the what will be the general process. So data mining under KDD, knowledge discovery process. So how we are extracting the information, the real information from the data. So that is called the knowledge. Knowledge in the sense it includes the artificial intelligence. Not artificial intelligence too, right? So here we have a database. So we are having the database and how the knowledge is extracted from this database by using this process. So we have a data cleaning. We know what is meant by data cleaning. Data cleaning means unwanted repeated data could be pruning and that could be removed, and it could be data could be integrated and it should be put it into the data warehouse to form data warehouse, and then have a data mart, different types of data mart, and the task relevant data could be taken and the data mining process could be taken here. Then we have a pattern. We get a pattern. In this pattern, evaluate the pattern and we will be getting the knowledge discovery is taking place. So for a real-time businessman, they require the past experience we could measure. So similarly here we can take a decision about the end user could be take decision while using this process about the intelligence. So here the data sources, how the data sources are getting out, data sources coming from the papers, files, information providers, and we are acquiring the data and we kept the data, and it could be incorporate with the data warehouse and the data mart and the data exploration by using the statistical analysis. We have a packages and using the statistical formula we could able to calculate and compute the queries and reporting process. Then we use a information discovery from the using the mining tool we can able to calculate. Then it should be visualized in the presentations. So whether what will be the stock for the previous last 2 years and what we have to kept for the stock for the next year, that everything all analysis. So suppose in TCS they have a company, what will be the profit last year the same quarter. So the previous year, the last 3 previous quarters, and this year what they are and what will be the next year. So all the forecasting could be represented by using the graph visualization technique, and that could be done by the business analyst. And finally the end user. So who is with the analytics we can have the making a decision about the how we are collecting the data and so on. So finally the end user will get benefit, and as well as the increasing the potential to support the business decision also properly done. Right. So I have given the what is meant by data mining, how this data mining concept, a fundamental concept I have given. Now we pass on to the association. So here we have seen why data mining, and the data mining concept. And next we pass on to the association rule, association and item set. What is mean by association? We have two, that means a correlations. We have a two set of data. Is there any relation between the two data? If the relation is closer, we can able to work with the take a decision. If the relation is not closer, it is not correlated, X and Y are not correlated, is not correlated, then we don't want to take the data, particular data set or item set. Therefore, we are enter into the association is a very, very important for the data mining. In the we form, being a analyst, we form an association rule our own for computing or collecting the data. In association is a rule of the form X and Y. So we have a two variable X and Y. If X is associated to Y, we will put an arrow like this, X is associated to Y. So example, how I am taking out, if India wins, so automatically everybody will get happy, or India wins in a cricket, the sales of sweets shop goes up. So India wins, automatically the sales of the sweet shops go up. So I am associating two rules, two parameters. Then for any rule, X associated to Y or Y associated to X, anywhere it is a vice versa only. Then X and Y are called the interesting item set. So there are two parameters we have considered, and these two are the interesting item set. One is if India wins, associate with the sweets goes up. So sweets, the increase in sales of the sweets goes up. So these two are associated. So we call this is called item set, interesting item set. And I am giving some example here. What will be the item set will be? Suppose during the June school reopening, many of them they will go to the school to buy a uniform. So once a uniform, that's not for any children, they won't only buy the uniform. So the accessories, if they purchase a uniform, definitely they will purchase the books, they will purchase a bag, they will purchase a pencil, crayons, and so many. So we have to identify what are the item sets were available. So I can say about, if it is a school bag, I can have the item set. If it is a parent is purchasing for a children school bag and uniform and pencils or pen, we keep these three are the item sets. We can find a pattern from this item sets. So a person, how many persons are coming and purchasing the school bags and uniform as well as the pen or crayons or any other item, shoes, and how many persons are neglecting the shoe and only purchasing the uniform, or similar vice versa. So what we are going to work it out, we have to identify the item set, and these item sets are closely related to the frequent item set we are going to calculate. Therefore, for computing the frequent item set, we are going to introduce the algorithm. That's called the data mining algorithm, a priori algorithm. One of the algorithms is called a priori algorithm, right? So here, people buying a school uniform in June also buy a school bags, vice versa. People buying school bag definitely in June also buy a uniform. So X is associated to Y, Y is associated to Y, X, no issues, no problem, right? Now, next concept, we are talking about the support. Right now, we discussed about the association, what is mean by association, what is mean by item set. Next, we see on the support and confidence. What is mean by support? Whether I am having a data set, 10 data sets, yes, parent number 1, parent number 2, parent number 3, parent number 4, parent number 5, and so on. So how many parents are likely to buy the school uniform, pen, shoes, and the different categories? So for each category, we have a support. Suppose I am having single item set, or 2 item set, or 3 item set, or 4 item sets. We can combine, put together and everything. So the support for a rule R, so we form a rule that's we denote it as capital R, is the ratio of the number of occurrence of R. So how many times the uniform will occur for all the 10 parent set, the 10 item sets. How many times the school bags were occur in the item set. So that is the support for a rule R is the ratio of the number of occurrence of R given at all occurrence of the rules. So that is called the support. Suppose I am having, so 5 times school bag occurs out of 10 item sets. So we decide 5 divided by 10, which comes under the 50% confident, right. Next, confidence. Confidence of the rule X associate to Y is the ratio of the number of occurrence of Y is given X. So here in the confidence level, we have to take the occurrence of all the item set, right. So by using the association rule, association and the confidence limit, we introduce the a priori algorithm. It is a famous algorithm which is used in the data mining. So the a priori algorithm is an influential algorithm for mining frequent item set for Boolean association rule. So we are going to form a rule. So in this, how many items are frequently occurring it, that we are going to compute. Minimum frequent item sets. If the frequent item sets is identified, we can form a pattern very easily. So what is maybe frequent item set? The sets of item which has a minimum support, denoted by Li for the ith set. And a priori property, what it says, any subset of the frequent item set must be a frequent. We have a 10 school bags, may be the 10 items, and the pen may be 4 items. So subset of the other set, any subset of a frequent item set. The school bag is also frequent item set, and the pen is also frequent item, is also subset. Therefore, any subset of a frequent item set must be a frequent. This is a property. So what we are going to do about it? We are going to find the joint operation to find Lk, a set of candidate k item sets generated by Lk minus 1 with itself. So we have to form a item set L1, L2, L3, Lk till Lk minus 1, forming it. The a priori algorithm in a nutshell. So find the frequent item set. The sets of the items that have the minimum support. A subset of the frequent item set must also be a frequent item set, that we have seen. If AB is a frequent item set, both A and B should be a frequent item set, definitely. A and B, school uniform and as well as the pen is the frequent item sets. Both subset of A and B is also separately the frequent item sets. So iteratively find the frequent item sets which coordinately with a 1 to how many number of item sets is. Right, this is the algorithm, pseudocode we are having out. So we have a join step. Ck is generated by the Ck means Ck is the generated by joining Lk, the first item set number 1 is joining together, which gives a Ck. Then the prune set, that means removing it. Prune any k minus 1 item set that's not frequent cannot be subset of the frequent item sets. If it is a not subset of the frequent item set, we can prune, and that means we can remove it. Then Ck is the candidate item set of k and Lk is the frequent item set of k, that we will see in the example. And the L1 is the frequent item set first. So first I will be taking one single set, and that will be taken k is equal to 1, which is not equal to 0. Then we can go for k plus 1. Then Ck plus 1. C2 will be calculating it, that means the candidate item set for the size 2 will be calculating it, C2, and C2 is compared generated with of the L2, and similarly we will work it out and combine and everything. We will be computing the candidates in the Ck plus 1 with the minimum support, right. So with the example of this set, with the example of this set, we have a 9 item sets where this is a transaction ID and these are the list of items. So transaction ID starts with 0 to 10. So it's we have a 9 item set, and these are the items we say about it. I1, I2, I5, I2, I4, I2, I3, I1, I2, I4, I3, I1 and I2, I3. Transaction ID T100, list of items. I1, I2, I5. We will work it out this problem. T101, I2, I4, 102, I1, I2, I3, I1, I2, I4, I2, I3, I1, I3, I1, I2, I4, I1, I3, I2, I3, I1, I2, I3, I5, first one is I1, I2, I5, then I2, I4, I2, I3, I1, I2, I4, I1, I3, I2, I3, I1, I3, I1, I3, I1, I2, I3, I5, I1, I2, I3. Right. So these are the 10 customers transaction ID with the corresponding what they have wish to buy or the frequent item they are purchasing it. So we call this as called I1, I2, I3 or called the item 8. So what it means, a customer of the ID number I100, T100 is having a habit of purchasing item set I1, I2, I5. Then the second customer is having the habit of I2, I4. Third customer we are having the habit of I2 and I3. Now by using this, we want to, this is small data, we want to identify what pattern is extracting the pattern of the behavior of the particular the customers. So consider the database D consisting of the 9 transactions. Suppose the minimum support count is required to 2. That means the minimum support, we have a 9 entry here, we will be taking minimum 2. That means suppose I am taking I1, how many times it's repeating it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So minimum support we will be taking the item which comes minimum twice here. So we will be having 2, therefore 2 by 9 is 22%. So we fix a confidence of the 22%, the minimum support, and the minimum confidence required is 70%. So we require the confidence required for 70% more, we will be considered as the, it comes under the frequent item sets. So we have to find the first frequent a priori algorithm and so on, right? So the next, so this is the table we are having the set. So I am taking the first, generating the first item set, frequent pattern here. So what we have to do, scan the database D, count for the candidate of the item set number 1. So the item set number 1, so how many item set number 1, how many times it's repeating? I1 is repeated how many times? So here we have I1 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So the item set I1 is repeated 6 times, frequently repeated here. Then I2 similarly 7 times, I3 6 times, I4 repeated 2 times, I5 repeated 2 times. All the item comes under the minimum support level, right? So then compare the candidate support with the minimum support with the candidate support. We have a L1, the same all the count, all the minimum support count is getting more than 20%. Therefore, the C1, the candidate support will be taking as a L1. So, this is the first iteration of the algorithm with the one item set. Similarly, for the second item set, in the second item set we have to calculate to combining the two sets. Suppose these two sets I1 and I2, comparing two sets I1 and I2, then I1 and I3, then I1 and I4, I1 I5, I2 I3. So, we have to take like this I1 I2 I1 I3, I1 I4, I1 I5, then I2 I3, I2 I4, I2 I5, similarly I3 and so on. See here I3 I4, I3 I5, I5. So, this is the second candidate item set. So, we have to compute how many times I1 and I2 repeated. I1 and I2, the two item sets repeated in the first ID, transaction ID 1, 2. So, I1 I2 1, I1 I2 2, I1 I2 3, I1 I2 4 times. So, we have to put like this. Next, we have to see I1 I3 how many times it is repeating, 4, I1 I4 1 time, I1 I5 2 times, I2 I3 4 times, I2 I4 2 times, and I3, there is no I3 I4, you can see there is no combining the item set of I3 and I4, they are not purchased put together. Here one I4 is there, here one I4 is there is no I4 at all. Therefore, I1 I4 that takes as 0. So, what is the condition we are having out with the confidence? Confidence interval should be 70% and the minimum support is a 20%. So, in the second item set we have to prove what are the item set and the two item set which less than 20%. We can able to see I1 I4 got 1, in the here I1, what is this, I3 I4 got 0 and I3 I5 got 1, I4 I5 got 0. So, this will be proved. So, this will be removed 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rows will be removed and we can compare with the support count without the minimum support count. We automatically will be getting I1 I2 4, I1 I3 4, I2 I3 4, then I1 I5 2 20%, then I2 I4 2 and I2 I5 which is equal to 2. So, in previous case, in first item set all the candidate set is proven and directly it comes to the, it supports the minimum 20%. So, it all the entries has come, but in this we had 9 entries, but we could able to frequent item set is identified only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 item set, right. Now, we pass on to the third. So, this is the explanation how we are joining out with the frequent set, right. Now, we are into third item set. So, how many elements will be in the third item set? You see third item set I1, I2, I3. I1, I2, I3. How many? I1, I2, I3. I1, I2, I3. I1, I2, I3. I1, I2, I3 which comes under 2. Then I1, I2, I5. I1, I2, I5 2. Then remaining for triple I1, I2, I4 only once. I1, I2, I4 only once. Then if you take this combination I2, I3, I5, I2, I3, I5, it is also 1. So, we are taking I1, I2, I3 already we have taken. So, here this I1, I2, I3 twice, I1, I2, so it crosses 20% minimum support. Therefore, we take it out into the next and this it will be in the frequent item set and this will be proved. Therefore, the second item set I1, I2, I3 and I2, I1, I2, I5 without the minimum count support, and there are too many classification other non-traditional approaches, genetic algorithm and fuzzy classifications, and so many methods are available. We will see it about the finally learned in the summary. Right. What may be classifications? So we are dealing with of the data sets. We have to identify the item set, frequent item sets, and we have to classify these sets in separately. So this could be done by the machine learning process, and with the intelligence we can make it out. So I can give some example about it. Suppose we have some fruits where available apple and orange and so on is mixed together. I want to classify these fruits separately, maybe the 10 tons of the fruits maybe. So how to classify the things? That means separations by using the machine. So we can introduce the fuzzy logic, and we give their writing a rule, fuzzy rules, and these using the fuzzy rules we can make it out, give all parameters, and if the parameter shows about the if it is the size of the fruit and the shape and the remaining parameter and the properties of the fruits we can introduce, and we could able to classify the 90% of the confidence level we can able to classify apple and orange may be possible into classification. Similarly, we require the class label for this. For the classification we require the class labels, and the classifies data construct a model based on the training set. So we have to give the training set for this. So how to train our machine? So apple, the size of the apple, the parameters of the apple, and the features of the apple. So all the training set we have to feed into the training set into the machine. Similar to orange also we have to feed into this, and classifies the data, construct a model based on the training set and the value class labels in a classifying attribute, and uses it in the classify new data. So it will identify whether it comes under this or it comes under this, any new data comes into the picture we can able to do. So what is prediction? Predict the unknown value. Models continuous valued functions, and that predicts the unknown missing values. We can use the regression, time series analysis, regression line. We know y is equal to regression line, y is equal to mx plus c or ax plus b. And if you know the time series analysis, if you know the parameters of the a and b, and if we know, I can substitute the x value, corresponding y value could be able to calculate. So this process prediction could be done. Why we want to predict? So forecasting, weather forecasting. So we can see the past quarters, the previous month, we can predict the last year December what will be the climate and what will be the rainfall, the last 4 years, last 10 years. We can predict the future. We can give the forecasting, weather forecasting could be done. Similarly, in this company, suppose we take about in the showroom, the big textile shop, they have to predict our forecasting, and what will be the next quarter, what will be the price, selling the profit. So they can predict the profit and how much stock could be kept in the ready. So that could be possible by using the prediction model. So example, credit approval. Suppose in the bank, the past record of the customers, whether we can approve the credit could be given to the particular customer. If his habit is good, he is paying regularly, we can give a credit. So this is the applications. And the target marketing, so I can fix a target. So by this second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, what will be the margin, get the profit. So that could be done with the target marketing. Medical diagnosis. Suppose we have a cancer patients of the 10,000 people of the cancer patient, we analyze it and we can have some converted into the regression analysis. We can use this SVM also, support vector machines or fuzzy or neural network or non-traditional method, and using this we can have the pattern. So we can diagnose what level of the cancer the patient and what level of the medicine should be given. That could be treatment effectiveness analysis. The treatment effectiveness, what level of the medicines we can be able to give, that's all. So the classification, two steps of the process: model construction and model usage. In the model construction, we have a determine the class label attribute. It comes under the supervised learning, and the model usage for classification unseen objects. In the model usage, we do not know. This comes under the unsupervised learning. We do not know what was the object, but we could able to identify the object. This is the two process we are going to work. That's called the supervised and unsupervised. It comes under the custody. Supervised learning classification. What is meant by supervised learning? The supervision, the training data. So we are train the machine. We are giving training. What is meant by training? A teacher teaches is giving all instruction and all the information to the student to train the students to write the university examination well. So that is called a supervised learning. He is giving a training to the students in all with all parameters. So the training, the data, observation, measurement, etc. are accompanied by the label indicating the class of observation. The class of observation we have to mention, and this could be taken. The new data is classified based on the training set. Once a trained student, we train the students to write the examination for the particular subject, we are giving a training. So automatically for the next exam, he will prepare in the particular subject, he will prepare for the new data. It's classified based on the training set. He could able to write the exams well. But unsupervised learning is, we are not giving any training data. The class labels of the training data is unknown. We do not know training data, but the given data set measurements and observation, etc. aim to establish the existence of classes of the cluster. So what we will do, we don't give the exact training data, but the cluster, they extract the data from the cluster, and automatically it will be taken as a data. The very good example for the supervised learning is a mother teaches a child, giving a training, say appa, amma, this is fan. So it is an algorithm, training set. So a children will be having, keep in mind, this object is called fan, this object is called cycle, this object is called a bike, and so on. Right. So in this classification, very good the algorithm, the method, models were in the non-traditional method. I am talking about the advanced model. The minimum model, we have a number of models were available. Here today we are going to discuss about the advanced model with the back propagation and as well as the support vector machines, and if possible we enter into the genetic algorithm and so on. So what is neural network? We say neural network is a classification method model. So in a real life problem, in real time problem, this our biologist, we have the powerful in your human body, the powerful tool is our human brain. So we simulate the human brain convert into the machine, that is artificially we convert into the brain model is called the artificial neural network or neural network. The neural networks are configured for a specific application such as pattern recognition. So we can match for this neural network, artificial neural network comes under the machine learning classification. Its specific applications such as pattern recognition of the data classification. Suppose I think you can go through the website in the neural network, we can have some fingerprint impression. How to classify the fingerprint impression, the face recognition, how to classify the face recognition. Everything is done by neural network. So this is what I used to say. Learning process, whether it is supervised or unsupervised. What will be the learning process? A mother teaches a kid, a teacher teaches a student. So he is training, he is giving the data. So it is a learning process. Once a child, a mother teaches a child to say appa, amma and identify the object, the student, a child is ready to do the other things. So it's a trained data already is given, therefore it could be able to identify the other new items. In a biological systems, the learning involves adjustment to the synaptic connection between the neurons. We will see this is our neural brain, and these are the synapses, and these are all the network. A neuron, many inputs, and it's a complex problem. So in data mining, the classification comes under the real-time applications. We have a complex structures will be there. So like our brain, non-linear model, we enter into the non-linear problem could be solved by using the non-traditional methods. So the artificial neural network is a powerful data modeling tool, is able to capture and represent the complex input and output relations. I may have a different inputs, 4 inputs, 2 outputs, or 5 inputs, 1 output, that could be taken place. Can perform the intelligent tasks similar to those performed by the human brain. So the intelligence could be taken place. Our brain is a very, very intelligent human brain. Similarly, we can give intelligence to the machines. That is process problem. So what will be the structure of the neural network? Neural network have a input. We are getting the input, do some process, it will be output. So input, output. So hidden we will be structuring. We have a different types of layer. That is called a hidden layer that we will see. Right. I will see about the how our client classification, how we are giving the input and how we are getting the output. So we say about the P1, P2, P3, P4 and so on the inputs, and this we call as a summation function. Summation function. Summation function. That is nothing but sigma. And B is called bias, and this F is called activation function. So this is the input and the corresponding output. This is the second input. The we call these are the neurons. 1, 2, 3. 3 neurons. So 3 output. The input is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 input, but the corresponding the output will be in terms of the neuron. So here these are all comes under the non-linear model, all real-time model. So this activation function may be the exponential function we will be getting out, right? So we will see detailedly. So this is the one layer network, one input, output. This is called one layer. There is no hidden layer and so on. Suppose if you enter into the multi-layer, that means in between we have a different layer. How it will be? Different neural network. The most popular neural network is a back propagation. It back propagating, we will explain, and multi-layer feed forward neural network. That means there are too many hidden layers were available in between. To remove the complexity and to get the accuracy, we have a hidden layer. It iteratively learns a set of weights of the predictions of the class labels of the tuples. Consistent input layer and more hidden layer, one or more hidden layer are the output layer. The weighted outputs are the last hidden layer. So I will see this here. So here this is a multiple layers of neuron. So this is input, this is my output. So there are 4 input corresponding output, but in between there will be a 1 hidden layer, 2 hidden layer, and that is output layer, 3 hidden layer. So what the concept is, this is the input layer, and once if you enter into the hidden layer, it process the same sigma activation function, summation function combined with the bias, and it goes to activation function, and you will be getting the output. Similar here, this will be the output of the first layer. So the output of the first layer is nothing but the input of the second layer. So the input of the second layer. Similarly for all these input of the second layer. So here what is the purpose of the neural network? So here it is iterative process. I am giving an input, corresponding weight will be adjusted automatically. Once the weight is adjusted automatically for the problem, we will be getting the more accuracy, and we will be getting its converge towards our answer. So here this is the weight function, and the corresponding for the second layer updated weight function is available here. So while summating this weight function, you will be getting the output of the second layer. So as I told, the output of the second layer is nothing but the input of the third layer. So here again input. So the corresponding changes in the weight. So we will be getting the activation function. See, this is the summation function with the corresponding bias, and we will be getting activation function and finally output. So what is the, in the iterative process, what you will be getting out, each neuron will have a different, all the input is combined with this each neuron. The P1, the input is combined with P2, P3, P3 with corresponding weight. So all the input were accumulated with the single neuron, and this will be added with the corresponding bias, and this will be getting the activation function as output. Similarly, the second, the neuron, that is a summation function, gets the input from the P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, and it will be accumulated, and we will be getting the activation function, and we will be getting output. So this is the, finally the last, what will be the output? A1 is, output is combined from this, that means the output of this is nothing but, here I am getting the input, no, here the output of the second layer, and output of the, output of the second layer comes under the this corresponding weight, then the output of the first layer comes under this. So it's a back propagation. Therefore this process is called a back propagation method. So very simple, I think I can able to write. Suppose we have a P1, suppose I am having, so how I am getting the first one, P1 is equal to, sorry, the first layer, A1, how I am getting the output, A1 is equal to P1 into W1, so P1 into W11 plus corresponding bias plus the activation function, sigmoidal function, we will be getting the activation function, we call this as activation function, which is equal to the output of the first. So this is, you should write sigma x Pi Wi plus bias, which is nothing but A. We can say about the output of the first neuron is nothing but Pi into Wi plus the corresponding bias. Similarly, I think we can do some example with the neural network for the back propagation. So this is the multilayer perceptron, this we have seen. The neural network have the criticized for the poor interpretability. The reason, since is a iterative process, like a hidden layer is not constructively, we do not know about the how many hidden layer we have to fix. So like our brain, it's difficult for human to interrupt the symbolic meaning of the beginning of the learned weight without the hidden units. What will be the weights of the hidden units, we do not know. Therefore, so many years they are not, these features initially made the neural network less desirable for data mining. They are not used in the data mining, but later on they come to the things. However, it includes their high tolerance of the noisy data as well as the ability to classify the patterns accurately, neural networks pattern accuracy. Therefore, they have taken into the consideration nowadays, but everybody are using the back propagation algorithm in the neural network. They are well suited where they are using the neural network in this decision tree algorithm, real world data including the handwritten recognition and the pathology, medicine, and training computer and they pronounce the English text. It will give identification of the English text, and the neural network algorithm hereby parallel and parallelism techniques can be used to speed up the computation process. Several techniques have been recently developed for the extraction rules for the trained neural network. So it gives the extractions rule. So now, and the next level after classification, extracting the rules, we are using the application neural network. So the defining network topology, how to define it or how many layers, that and all, the user has to decide the how many networks and will be there. So the normalizing, so while giving a input vector for the neuron back propagation neural network, usually we will be giving the normalized value in between 0 to 1. So discrete valued attributes may be encoded in, there is a one input and per domain. So for example, the attribute has a 3 possible values. One may be taken as 1 0 0 or 0 1 1 or 1 0 0, or otherwise it could be normalized values, right? For classification, one output unit may be used to represent the two classes. So we may have some 4 input, and we may have the two outputs. So one output unit may be used for to represent the two classes. So either it can be taken as in terms of 0, classify one side. If it is a 1, we classify other sides. One represents the one class and the other value represents a 0. If there are more two classes, then one output unit per class is used. There are no clear rules for the best number of hidden layer. We cannot fix, and there is no the best rule we can have. So it is a back propagation, and we have given. So how the back propagation algorithm is taken place? So we have a data set. D consists of the data set, and L is the learning rate, and a network using the multi-layer feed-forward neural network. So we are giving the OI is the corresponding, the input is the IJ, and the corresponding output is the OI. How we are getting OI is a combination of the corresponding weights of the particular neuron. Then this is the bias, theta j is a bias, and OJ is nothing but activation function, exponential function 1 by 1 plus e power minus j, and the error. So by using the back propagation algorithm, we could be able to compute the error. So in the first phase, we have identified this much of error. So it's iterate again. It's feed forward. Since it's a feed forward neural network, no, its update is current weight. So again, in the second, the error will be reduced or increased. If it is reduced, again it will come to the second iteration, third iteration, fourth iteration, and finally, whenever if it goes this error, no, error j is equal to the output of j of 1 minus order of output of j of target. So in the neural network, is supervised. Since it's a supervised learning, we are given a target. Very simple example we can say. Till achieving the target, it will go on feed forward, and we will be getting out. The process will go on up to the maximum accuracy. And each time the weight will be increased, delta weight will be increasing by using this formula. Wij is equal to Wij plus delta Wij. Corresponding weight will be increasing. And similarly, bias also, which is not fixed, bias will also increase. So with this, we training the network. We will have some example. So the first training sample calculation for the learning of back propagation algorithm by a multi-layer feed-forward neural network. That the learning rate, the L, learning rate is nothing but 0.9 fixed. The initial weight and the bias values of the network is given along with the first training tuple of X. So here I am giving out. So this is the network. The first input is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I call it as X1 is my input, X2, X3. And what will be the weight? So this is the weight of the from the first neuron to fourth neuron, W14. So weight will be 14. And this corresponding weight is W15. And this weight is W24. And this weight is W25. And the corresponding weight is W35. And this weight is W34. Please go through this W35. And similarly, from this neuron to this neuron. So we call this as input layer, this is output layer, that is a hidden. So there will be automatically the other weight will be W46 and W56. So what we discussed is a multi-layer perceptron, that means a feed-forward neural network. We have a input layer, one hidden layer, this output layer. Okay. So we have to take all the initial input, weight and bias value fixed. So input for the first one, we call it as X1 is equal to 1, X2 is equal to 0, X3 is equal to 1. 1, 0, 1. This we have to fix initially. And the corresponding W14, The corresponding weight is given as 0.2 W15 minus point this one minus 0.13 and weight W34 W14 W15 minus 0.13 W34 0.4 0.4 and W25 0.1 W34 minus 0.5 W1424 this 34 1415 24 this is 24 1415 2425 34 34 is minus 0.5 34 is minus 35 is 0.2. Okay, so how the network will be taken place? So all the bias also given, theta 4, theta 5, theta 6. So bias for this particular theta 4 is minus 0.4 and theta 5 is 0.2. So how we will take it out? So for the first input I am taking for the first this neuron, the fourth neuron, the output will be, what is the formula we said? Sigma xi into wi plus bias plus other corresponding activation function into the activation function, which is equal to sigma xi. Xi, what is the value? 1 into W14 1 is 1.2 summation no plus 0.0 into 0.1 plus minus 0.5 this value into 1. What will be the bias value? 0.4. So this is the value 0.2 plus 0 minus 0.5 plus 0.4. See this value summation, which is comes under the minus 0.7. So the neural network, the corresponding the first output, then what will become the output? We have activation function. Activation function is 1 by 1 plus e power x. Output value is equal to 1 by 1 plus e power minus 0. So we will be getting out the output j is equal to 1 by 1 plus e power minus 0.7, that becomes plus, which gives the value of 0.32. Similarly, to go for this is we have calculated for the neuron number 4 and neuron number 5 and neuron number 6. So the output will be, for each neuron we will be getting the corresponding output. So once the output calculated, we have to go for error value. What will be the error formula? Error formula is equal to Oj, what we have calculated now, of 1 minus Oj of target value. We fix a target, target is equal to 1. If we fixed target minus Oj, so this is the error formula. So similarly, we could able to calculate for the error formula for 4, since what will be the error we are getting out, and what will be the error we are getting out, and what will be the error. 4 we will be getting error this much and error this much 6. So the corresponding the final output will be getting 0.13. So how these calculations are, how the weights are calculated. So in this way, if you computing the identifying the error calculation, and finally after computing the so many times, so error must be reduced. So once the error must be reduced up to 3 decimal or 4 decimal up to accuracy, we will be getting the exact result in the neural network for the corresponding output. So here this example is given in terms of the 3 input and 1 output. So the 1 output for the first iteration we are getting this value. If you enter into the second level, similar again we will work it out for the second level, we have to go for the same calculations and we will be getting error. So here we are getting the error is nothing but 0.1, but if you go for next or 15 iteration, 20 iteration or 100 iterations, the error will be reduced, definitely it will be reduced. This is auto corrections again reduced, and you will be getting the exact results. So by computing the error and using the classification done by using the extracting the rules from the trained network. So we trained that without the error we have a network. Now we have to extract, that means a pruning all high weighted network nodes could be identified and the remaining will be nude. So the extracting the rules from the trained network, discrete the activation value, replace individual activation value by the cluster coverage of the maintaining the network accuracy. They enumerate this value, find the relationship between the input and activation function, combine the above to have a relation to the output value. So if you use the see this, so if it is a network, we can give a relation by pruning by extracting the rules. If H2 H3 or H1 H2 H3 or H1 and H2 and H3, what will be the values of the corresponding output, and we can derive this type of rules for the classifying our network in the right way. So we have seen the neural network, how the classification algorithm will be taken place, and this could be done with the several networks. So next we have a Bayesian Navy algorithm and the support vector machines, genetic algorithm, the fuzzy logic. These are the very important in the machine learning process, right? I think today we have closing this section, and we have covered, we have taken, just I am summarizing what we have seen. Beginning we started with the data mining, what is the use of data, and we have so many data which is on the database, but how to the important features are taken from the data and what are the method. So that concept is a data mining, and nowadays we are talking about the data, big data analytics, and big data analytics, the fundamental is nothing but the data mining. So being a students of the engineering students, definitely you can enter into the data mining process, so that you can do some final year, you can go for some big data analytics or cloud computing project by using this. So we have a lot of software in data mining also. You go through the website, the Vega software is available, is a Java based software. If you classifications and everything, database. So we have taken only the 3 or 10 data, but if we have a 15,000 data, how to work it out? We can enter into the Vega software, or number of softwares are available. It's a freely downloadable, and we can do all a priori algorithm or classification techniques and the integrations and everything done by the software itself, right? So I think you have some little bit basic idea about the data mining and the classification algorithm, how it is taken place in the neural network also. I think it will be useful for you in the future. I wish you all the best, and I also thank the college management and thank everybody for giving this opportunity. Thank you.